Are we doing with the AC on?
Yeah.
Might
Yeah.
as well.
So, and we're live. Hey,
Oh,
everyone.
hey.
Caught her off guard. How's it going?
Hey,
Good?
I'm Whit.
I'm Doug. And we're doing a live Q&A today. It's every 4th episode for the Stream Team series. And this is actually the first time I've seen Whit in 2 weeks. She's been off having fun.
Yeah.
So all those videos you've seen with her the last couple of weeks we pre-recorded. So,
Surprise.
yeah.
I've been here the whole time. Just kidding. No.
So, but yeah, she had some fun things to go do. So she's been off
Yep.
having fun. So,
Mhm.
in terms of topics today, it's really just going to be all questions. I didn't have anything prepared, although we did have some Blackmagic announcements right before this, so we'll cover that very briefly. But
Sounds like everyone was talking about it in the
yeah,
comments
yeah. If
for
you look
a
at our
little
live,
while.
our whatchamacallit, our chat room.
Chat
Yeah,
room.
yes, that's the word. And everybody's been talking about that. So, hey, Paul's on there. Awesome, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
I wouldn't be surprised if Paul like just showed up and like popped his head up in the middle of the frame, like, right in the middle of the stream. So yeah, so people talking about the new Blackmagic panels just came out. So just kind of very
Which
briefly.
you sort of showed me.
Very briefly, yeah. So there's the new granddaddy of them all. 40 input buttons.
Is this the actual size?
Yes, it's tiny. It's in your pocket size. It's,
Is it really that small?
No,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
It would be big enough to more than fill this desk.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the
Yeah.
big one. They actually announced two of them. One's medium size, and this is the big one.
And that's the 18,000.
Yeah, that one's 18,000, and then the middle one is like 6,000. So this
Between 6 and 18,000.
well, when you
It's not a
consider
big price
that
leap.
one has 4 times as many buttons, twice the screens. Well, actually 3 times the little screen. So the price isn't so bad. I mean, their old one, which was basically the capabilities of this medium-sized one, was 15,000, and the new one is 6. So yeah, that's actually something I can consider doing. That mid-sized one would be absolutely perfect. It's perfectly sized for my switcher.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to come up with $6,000, but
So this is why we're here today for
That's right.
donations.
that's right.
We'll do a review.
So
Paul said he's going to come shake the trailer and run away. I dare you.
he'll dare him, he'll do it. Yeah, so those of you who've watched the channel very long actually know who Paul is. Paul's been very, very involved with EJP. So we're also doing something kind of new here where we're putting up comments on the video. So there's Paul's comment.
Oh. That's cool.
Yeah, so that is courtesy of some new software from John Barker at the Here to Record YouTube channel. So
I was just looking at Paul's picture.
yeah.
It's very innocent looking.
That's Paul for you. I don't know how innocent Paul really is, but he portrays he has that air about him. So
So do I.
yeah. So yeah.
Which one are you getting?
Yeah, it's a good question from Never Ends. Which one am I getting? If I got one, it would definitely be the mid-sized one because I can't even take advantage of everything that's on there. That's for design for a switcher that has 40 inputs. Mine only has only has 20.
Yeah.
So
That's so lame.
yeah. I mean that certainly.
It only has 20.
Yeah. Never used all 20 of them. Although for that event we shot last weekend, which you were here for, came close. I definitely came close because we had 4 cameras. We were supposed to have 3 drones. 2 of them we couldn't get working.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Was that for the flag one?
Yep. Yeah. So we only had 1
man.
drone instead of 3. Poor babies. Poor us. Yeah.
Not in
And
this-
then we also I had 4 video recorders playing back video. So I had so many video clips, and I had multiple layers going on. So I had one layer that was just an animated background, and then another layer on top of that for things like the countdown animation in the upper right-hand corner.
Oh, yeah.
And the lower thirds for their names.
Mhm.
I had all this stuff all pre-programmed, ready to go. Had those on recorders. So, and then because one of them was had transparency, it actually took up 2 inputs on the switcher instead of just one. It's like one for the actual graphics and then one for the transparency information. So
Oh.
I actually got close. I did get close to using up nearly 20 inputs on the switcher. So, yeah. So,
Of course I missed it.
yeah. Well, you were off doing other things that were fun. So, yeah. All right. Oh, here we go. Note from Spencer. Spencer was one of our camera operators on Saturday. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Spence.
Yeah, you met him at the John's Files thing we did.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I like having Spencer on the crew. He knows AV stuff pretty well, so I can count on him
Oh.
to handle some of the more technical stuff. So he was working on
Yeah,
getting
sorry.
the drones going. I still don't know exactly what was going on. I actually tested all the equipment the next day after we got done,
Mhm.
and everything was fine. So I still don't know what was going on there. So all the cables and everything. So anyway, nature of the beast and the live stuff. You never, it never goes perfectly exactly according to plan. So.
Just like this Q&A.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, all right. So I have our first actual real question here.
From Bob.
Yep, from Bob.
What kind of TVs did you install in the trailer? You listed all of the monitors on the gear list, but the TVs weren't included.
Okay, so don't really have TVs per se, except for one big 55-incher that's actually
In
kind
front
of
of
over-
us.
Yeah, and kind of yeah, it's on the side of the trailer, but in front of us where we're sitting here. So most of them are computer monitors. So it's just easier.
What kind are they?
They vary. So this one's a Dell, but most of them are LG. And I'm actually phasing out my Dells in favor of the LG ones. I like the LG ones a lot better.
Hmm.
Better color.
The color.
Yeah, and they handle. Can't maybe see it in this shot, sort of. The LGs actually show the multi-view properly, so you can see the outer white border, but on the Dells it cuts off that outer portion of it, so it's really hard to know.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's hard to know if you're framed properly.
Hmm.
So yeah, so like I say, I'm trying to phase out the Dells and move strictly to LGs. So I've got that Dell, a Dell there, and then the touchscreens are
There's
all
like
Dell.
18 monitors in
Yeah.
here.
She's not exaggerating.
How many do you have? Like,
That's-
well, okay.
Yeah, that actually is about right.
There's
So,
Vizio.
1, 2 yeah, the Vizio for the big displays. Those aren't very good.
Okay.
I would
could've
swap
said
those
that.
out really quickly if I needed something that was color accurate, because these are just not. So I got 2 big Vizios, 3 LGs across the front, a Dell there, LG there, Dell. That's the big one's a Sony, and then another Dell touchscreen, and then LG over in engineer booth, and then the audio booth has a Samsung, which I hate that monitor. I think it's terrible.
So I hate that monitor.
Yeah, that one's awful. And then yeah, some smaller ones like
Okay.
these scopes. Those are Blackmagic. So
Mm.
kind of.
I forgot what the question was.
Yeah,
So what are the
yeah,
monitors?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep.
There you
So,
go. Did that answer it?
Yep.
TVs weren't
Okay.
included.
Oh, what other actual questions we got here? Yeah, Spencer saying
It
yes,
was
it was
quite the morning.
It was.
Sounds a little stressed.
Yeah, it's like everything
stressful.
was working great until the
Mhm.
guys with the drone showed up, and then everything just went to hell.
Stupid
I mean,
drone
it wasn't
guys.
actually wasn't that bad, but I mean, all the cameras were all working, audio system was all working, everything was going great, and then once the drones showed up, like we focused so much on trying to get those going that we neglected to watch the countdown timer, because we were on a schedule.
How many were on the crew?
There's 4 of us, 3 camera operators and me.
Oh.
And one of them was new. He'd never worked for us before, so he didn't know any of the equipment. He couldn't really help out with a whole lot.
Oh.
So anyway, but yeah, so we got so busy focused on the drone stuff that we forgot to watch the countdown timer. We were actually on a tight schedule because we had an airplane flying over at a
Oh.
very specific time.
That's not good.
So yeah, so the countdown hit 0 we weren't ready. So
Don't tell them that.
well, I mean, this crew is these people. It's fine, you know. It's like
even we
they
make
understand.
mistakes.
Yeah, so even people who've done it for forever, you know, you just
Yeah,
run into
that's
all
true.
sorts of unexpected stuff. And it really was those drones that threw us off. It's like prior to the drones, everything was ready to go. Just, I mean, like even an hour before. I mean, I even commented to the guy running audio. It's like, I can't believe we've got an hour left and everything's working, you know. And then the drone show up.
It's his fault. That's why, because he said that. Jinxed you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Let's see,
I digress. So
Carlos.
let's see. Let's go up to
Hi,
well,
I'm
to Simon.
making-
So
How long have you been doing video production?
okay, so I have been doing video of different sorts for about 30 years, somewhere in there. But it wasn't until the late 90s that I could actually afford some decent gear, you know, actually get some cameras that were worth earning. And then it was a few more years before I could afford a switcher. So yeah, so yeah, basically doing multi-camera live stuff since the early 2000s. So nearly 20 years on that, but shooting video for, well, more than 30. I mean, even when I was in high school, I was doing some video stuff. So yeah.
As you trail off.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
All
I've been
right.
doing it 10 years, if you want to count school.
And yours is more focused on film, but
But mine's film, it's not necessarily
she's
live
done
production.
some live stuff along the
For
way,
some
too.
reason, I got pulled into live events the last year and a half, so.
Yeah.
But just a camera operator.
Yeah. And she's learning. That's why we have the Stream Team series. So we'll see if this graphics are okay. Yeah, there we go. So
Hi, I'm making a streaming PC for my school, putting in to 2 Blackmagic Deckling. Is that how you say it?
Deckling, yeah.
Deckling?
Yeah.
Mini recorder 4K, and we'll be using Elgato Cam Link as well in Ryzen 3600X. Going to cut it together with GTX 1650. All these acronyms, man.
You probably don't know what any of them are. do
Nope.
you? They're all computer ones. So, tough to say. Yeah, the only really way to know for sure is to try it. It's like that might be borderline. So the 3600X, it's a great processor, but you may be pushing it a little bit too hard with all of that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What he said.
What she said. Okay, so next one. Alvin.
Have you used the A10 Mini for live streaming?
I have not.
No.
Because I've got higher end gear. So, yeah, if I was to use the A10 Mini, I'd be compromising on capabilities. So, yeah, it turns out whatever I'm doing, I kind of push the equipment to its limits. So, yeah, if I was to have to use a Mini, I'd be missing out on some stuff. So, it's not a bad product. It's just, yeah, it's not going to do everything that.
It's more for just basic live streaming, right?
Yeah, very
It's
basic
kind of the
stuff,
very
yeah. So
basics.
Up to 4 cameras,
Okay.
HDMI cameras, not SDI. So.
But it is budget friendly.
Yes, very much
That's
so.
why
yeah.
people like it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but ultimately, I really only bought it so I can talk about it on the channel. So, I mean, there may be some opportunity I have to use it at some point if I need to do 3 setups at once. So I've got my main switcher here in the trailer, and then I've got a smaller based on Television Studio HD, which we haven't talked about on the channel yet. But then I've got my A10 Mini. So, yeah. Okay. So another question from Never Ends.
How do you feel about your new power setup?
Okay, so he's talking about the new power inverter I put in there for running the equipment off battery, having battery backup. So,
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you saw the video that Paul and I did about that, but we had everything ripped out of here, and yeah, it was one of our funnier videos, mostly because of Paul. But been pretty happy with it, so it's worked really well. Yeah, and it's definitely way better about when I do need to run on battery, because my old setup, you could tell it was straining under the load.
Oh yeah.
And even then, it wouldn't run for very long. I would get maybe 30 minutes on battery. I think with the new one, I can get as much as an hour. I haven't tested that, but I think would be about an hour on battery. So everything except the air conditioner. That air conditioner would suck that thing dry so fast.
Yeah,
So.
that takes priority.
Yeah. Yep. So speaking of air conditioner, we didn't have access to the air conditioner for the thing on Saturday. It froze up right before we started shooting.
Okay, maybe I'm glad I wasn't there.
Well, you would have been outside in the sun anyway. Oh, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's see. What do we got here?
Is it possible to change the resolution and frame rate of the multi-view outputs on a BMD Production Studio 4K?
Okay, so the multi-view outputs do have some configurable options, but they're not super flexible. And for the most part, the default should be fine. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a multi-view. You don't need critical resolution. So, all right. I knew one of these was coming.
Oh no. Will you buy a brand new BMD control panel?
Well, maybe. I have a lot of other things.
6 to 20 grand.
Exactly, but I have a lot of other
Just
things
laying around.
that I would probably get first. I need at least one more good camera. There's been several events where I just could really use one more, and right now I don't really have a backup. You know, if one of my cameras goes down.
Get the Blackmagic Pocket Cam 6K so I can use it. Actually, that probably wouldn't be a very good live streaming
camera. It's not
camera,
great for a lot.
would it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people try and use it that way, but you know, it's got some limitations. So, yeah, I would love to have one of those. If I can find a buyer for my Ursa Mini, I would probably do that. So, yeah, we know what Witt's boat is.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's see.
You're on to like 2 different chats. How come this one's not moving? Is that the newest part?
So the one on the left. Because we're using this new H2R graphics thing to do the chat. It actually has its own window, so I'm choosing which ones to show. But this one's live.
Okay.
So let's see. All right, here's a longer one.
Hi Doug, how do you manage video calls coming in on your ATEM? What is the best system to use? Zoom, Skype, new tech seem to have better systems. They're expensive, $30K. Thank you guys.
Okay, it's funny you asked this question because we actually, Whit and I are going to be running one of these types of events on Monday. So this will actually be my first fully virtual event. I just got hired to do video for a conference that was supposed to happen in Las Vegas next week, but the governor shut everything down. And so we got hired to do it from here in Utah. So
it's going to be a long day.
Yes, it will. And because this is my first one, I don't have a lot of experience pulling all the video in. And so after we finish this stream today, that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Basically the rest of the day is testing all that kind of stuff. So I had to acquire some new gear in order to make it all happen. But basically what I'm going to do is we'll have one call for the host, and then we'll do like a Zoom or a Skype or Google Meet for everybody else, and then I'll combine them here with the switcher, and so yeah. And this is actually going to be Whit's first time to run the switcher for this event, so I'll let her do that. So
no pressure. Everyone's going to be critiquing me.
The good thing is it's actually live to tape.
Okay, so, yeah, that's right.
So if something goes,
but if I screw up, I gotta edit it.
Yeah, if something
goes
wrong.
So we're saying if I screwed up, the crime matches the punishment matches the crime.
That's right. So we'll record each feed individually. So it's a good opportunity to practice for her and for me both. So I'm planning on handling all the technical things because I'm gonna have to reroute audio between the different panels, and
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So.
Knock yourself out.
So I figured you'd probably enjoy running the switcher a little bit more on that. So Spencer saying, you invoked Murphy's Law. Yeah, we did. No question. Okay, all right.
Very true.
Moving to the next one.
What car do you pull the trailer with? How does it perform?
It's a Volkswagen Beetle. I was kidding.
That'd be hilarious. Probably wouldn't get very far, though.
That's the funny thing is, like, I mean, so I have a Honda Ridgeline pickup. It's adequate, not great for the task. It hesitates a little bit trying to go more than about 70 miles an hour with the trailer behind me.
Oh.
So.
We wouldn't know.
Yeah. So I won't be doing any long road trips that way.
How heavy is this trailer, do you think?
I've never had it weighed, but if I was going to guess, I'd say probably about 4,000 pounds. So it's actually not the weight that's the problem. It's the height and width of it, because it becomes just a big kite in the wind.
Yeah,
so,
that would make me nervous. That makes sense.
So, yeah, the size of it is, physical size of it's more of a problem than the actual weight. So, you know, with weight, once you get it moving, it keeps moving, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah, the wind, that's just constantly dragging on you the whole time. So.
Okay. Note to self, I'm not driving the trailer. I don't want to be responsible for that.
So, yeah. But you could do it with a car. Her car actually has the same engine as my truck, so.
Oh, yeah, V6?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. She has a Honda Accord that's basically the same engine as my Ridgeline, so. you want to pull a trailer?
No.
So.
Something bad will happen, I know it.
Okay. Okay, here's next question.
Can you tell us about your trailer exterior security cameras?
No.
They work really well.
So yeah, the security systems in the trailer are pretty extensive, but I don't talk about them publicly. So
yeah, there's too much
fairly
equipment
obvious
in here.
reasons. Alrighty. Okay, another question about the thing we're going to be doing on Monday.
Thanks, but how do you do the audio video back to the guest?
Okay, so yeah, that's actually the tricky part that I've had to come up with a solution for. So what I'm going to do is I'll have the video output of the switcher
Oh,
going into capture devices on the computers that are actually on the calls. So what they'll see, they'll see the same thing that everybody watching the stream will see. I mean, I could change that. I could show the host to the panel participants and vice versa. But that didn't make a lot of sense to me, so I figured we'd just show them the same thing that the audience is seeing. Yeah, so just HDMI capture devices. I found some nice cheap ones on Amazon, $20 a piece. I tested them, they work. So getting good ones right now is next to impossible because everybody's trying to do live streaming.
You're using HDMI.
Yeah, well, you know, I know it's awful. I know.
I thought that was the bad one.
It is.
You're not
It
supposed to
absolutely
use
is.
HDMI.
But trying to find an SDI-based one right now is next to impossible. They're sold out everywhere. You just can't,
yeah,
just
I
can't
think
get
I
hold of
remember
them.
you telling me
So,
that.
yeah. So yeah, I found some cheap ones on Amazon, $20 a pop, and they actually work. So I'm gonna go with that. But again, something else we're gonna test today. And if that doesn't work out, then I'll figure out another solution.
You have to figure it out because I don't know what to do.
Another solution between now and Monday. So, yeah. All right. So let's see. That one's pretty similar to some other ones. So. Yeah. So okay. So here's a good one. Why
program color changed when you showed chat lower third?
Okay. So yeah. So every time I turn the chat on and off, the color shifts on the video a little bit.
Oh.
That's because I didn't quite get the overlay settings tweaked just perfectly. So my fault. Totally my fault. Yeah, flickering camera again. Stupid HDMI.
Yeah, this is why you don't use HDMI.
That's definitely one of the reasons. So. Okay.
Oh man.
Okay.
How well do the flat panels and gear handle the movement of the trailer on the road? Any special trailer shocks?
Okay, so the shocks on the trailer are just what it came with. Nothing special there. When I first got the trailer, I was very careful to strap everything down, make sure it didn't move. You know, like put everything as low inside the trailer as possible. Put stuff on the floor instead of up on desks, and I very quickly learned that nothing moves. So in this day and age, like loose keyboards like this. Oh
yeah, you can't have anything moving in here.
Yeah. So this day and age, I don't even like strap down the keyboards. I do have a little bit of Velcro on the mice because they do tend to move, but the keyboards never move. It's a MacBook Pro sitting on the desk right there. It's never moved. I've never done anything to secure it. So the stuff just doesn't move around. So.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I've ever seen anything on the floor, really.
It was just kind of a waste of time to secure everything.
So there's no shocks?
Oh, it's got some
Just
torsion style shocks on the axles.
Oh,
But
okay.
they work really well. The thing is, it's so heavy, so big, so heavy,
Yeah.
that it would take a pretty good force in order to actually make it move. And I'm really careful when I drive it too, and I don't. Well, of course, the Ridgeline can't really accelerate very quickly when it's pulling something this big,
Yeah.
but yeah, I try to be as careful as I can be, you know. But I do take the printer, moved it down onto the floor. In terms of weight balance of the weight, I take some of the big heavy cords off the back doors and put them inside, because otherwise it likes to sway back and forth, because there's too much weight on the ends.
Oh,
So just
okay.
moving the cables from the back actually solves that. But yeah, so yeah, it hasn't really been an issue. So yeah. All right, so another question here.
What product in the BMD product line do you miss?
Miss. Well, they haven't really canceled anything that I need or want. So I don't
How
know.
cheap it used to be?
They still have their inexpensive stuff. You know, they
Yeah,
they
that's
continue
true.
to move up range with things,
Mhm.
but yeah, they still have their inexpensive stuff. So
Mm.
yeah. Okay. Okay, next one.
Is it possible to connect A10 Mini Pro with Teradek Video Go via USB-C port?
Short answer, no. USB-C is meant to emulate a webcam, and the video wouldn't know what to do with the webcam, and it only has an HDMI input on it anyway. So yeah, use HDMI.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay.
I know a producer who's had a lot of power converters, monitors, and even a drone on hand. He started to date a lot. Has this been an issue for your monogamy? Mark, is that you? No, no issues. It's pretty easy, actually. There's no one. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, moving on.
I know that person.
Yeah. Alrighty. You want me to read it? Or are you good?
Yeah. What do you think of 4K studio camera with fiber?
Okay, so so he's talking about the Blackmagic. They have a line of studio cameras. I think you said you've actually used one before. It's got a big 10-inch screen on the back, and it uses micro four thirds lenses.
Wait, what was it?
It's Blackmagic cinema camera or studio camera.
Oh yeah, I have used it.
Yeah, so you've used. I never have, but
It's very heavy.
I think you might be thinking of a different one.
What's the cinema one then?
It's the studio. It's a little tiny guy. So
Oh.
yeah, I'll see if I can find it real quick. But I think I've actually seen a picture of you with one at some point. You may have had one.
Oh, I thought you were going to my Instagram. I was
No.
like, no, that's okay.
No, this one right here. It's a
Oh, oh, yeah, I have.
very weird looking camera.
It is weird. It doesn't look. Yeah, it's.
So,
I don't remember where I've used it, but I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah.
yeah.
Or something
So,
similar
I,
to it.
I personally haven't used that one. I have a micro studio camera, which is basically the same thing as this in smaller body. In fact, it's right there.
Oh.
So this is same sensor as that one. Just the big difference, it doesn't have the screen. Pretty much everything else is
Is
there.
it the same size? That's not how big it is.
No. This thing's way bigger.
Yeah, okay.
That's a 10-inch screen on there.
Oh.
The size of an iPad.
Okay. That's teeny.
Yeah, that's why they call it micro. You guys have actually seen this camera quite a bit on this channel. I used to shoot most of my videos.
That's the one that was there, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it have a soft focus? Or is it the lens? The lens does.
The lens on
Okay.
this one is got soft focus. Like that's one of the problems with this series. Like they use micro four thirds lenses, and they're really designed for lenses that have electronic zoom. And all the lenses that have electronic zoom in them are not great, soft, and yeah, just don't have good,
Yeah,
don't have
not
very
good.
wide apertures. And
Although I like it for my skin because you get a little softer. It's kind of like a filter.
built-in
I
filter.
noticed it, yeah.
In the lens. So
Typically, that's not good.
My biggest complaint though with these is they just don't do well in low light. So here in the trailer, under 200 watts of LED light, like real 200 watts, not 200 watt incandescent equivalent, it even with the gain cranked all the way, it barely is bright enough.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and when you crank up the gain that much, you start to see a lot more noise in the picture, and you can actually see the stuck pixels. So if you look at some of my videos, you'll find little white pixels all over the place because it's the camera. But when you turn up the gain that much, they start to show up. So
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not. If you're in an actual studio setting where you've got real lighting, then these can work okay, or outdoors in the sun, they can be fine.
Okay. So would you use it with fiber? Is that what they're asking?
Well, so this one has a port for fiber right on the top of it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this one is only SDI. A little tiny SDI.
Is fiber better than SDI?
Fiber is.
I thought SDI was better than.
Fiber
everything.
actually carries the same signal as SDI, but fiber can go a lot farther.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
that's the
because
difference.
the copper with SDI, you'd be lucky to go more than about 200, maybe 300 feet.
And it's a lot more expensive, right?
Copper in those kinds of lengths is more expensive than
Yeah.
fiber. Yeah,
Okay.
which people don't tend to realize. I think most people realize fiber, that must be incredibly expensive. Well, no, not really. I buy my fiber cables at about $1 per meter. So a 50-meter cable, $50, whereas getting the same thing in copper is going to be at least twice that, if not considerably more. And the fiber sends signals in both directions, whereas copper, it's only going one direction at a time. So if you need to go to camera and back from camera at the same time, you're running two cables, so your cable costs double even. So you could spend 4 times as much on copper as you would with fiber. So I do fiber for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Just long runs, and it's pretty inexpensive, all things considered.
So you get like 100 of them. Stuff adds up quick.
Yeah. The downside to fiber is you have to have devices that will accept a fiber connection. So yeah. So my main complaint with that camera is the low light performance, and just the lack of decent lenses. So, anyway, I have a feeling we're getting way behind. So okay, a lot of these people talking to each other. All right, skip that one. Okay, so yeah, show this one.
Can you explain the H2R graphics overlay for social media comments you're using?
Okay, all right.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
So yes, for these YouTube comments, I'm using a piece of software called H2R Graphics. It's from a guy who runs a YouTube channel that I actually really like. A guy named John Barker runs a channel called Here to Record. I think it's the name of his business. And he's produced this software, totally free, doesn't charge anything for it.
Oh.
And it does comments for YouTube, and also does lower thirds and timers and a bunch of other stuff, and totally free. And it's a great starting place for anybody who needs a simple graphics package. He's continuing to add to it as well. So you can get it on Here to Record, HERETO record.com. Yeah, totally free. And he actually did a demonstration of it in a live stream this morning. So
today?
Yeah, today's a busy day for live streaming because he had his in the morning, and then Blackmagic did theirs, and then we've got ours. So I didn't set it up quite right, and that's why you're seeing the color shift when I bring it live. But otherwise, it can work really well. Okay. Can't really read that.
What do you use to switch on and off communication to journalists or on-air talent? Just with tablet or PC, is that job of the producer or sound engineer?
Okay, so normally, I think he's probably referring to IFB, interrupt foldback.
That's usually the producer, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's talking to talent.
Yep, and most IFB systems, the person who's talking actually has control whether to turn it on or off. So, yeah. But maybe he may have seen my video the other day for the big follow the flag event we did. In which case I was talking to talent on stage. I had a microphone up here at the desk with me, which had a microphone or a switch on it, and I was turning it on and off. So as I needed, I'd turn it on, talk to him, and then just when after I was done, I turned it off. But that's not normal. That's mostly because we were very short on staff.
Yeah.
So. The host of that was Dave McCann from KSL. You know who he is. He's one of the main anchors on KSL. So and he was totally used to that. He's like, "You can have IFB." I'm like, "Nah, sorry, I just don't have the staff to run and set all that stuff up and run it." So,
Yeah. Usually the technical director talks to the cameras,
Right.
the crew.
Yeah, and then you have
And
the
then
producer
producers
will
talk to talent, yeah.
Yeah, they usually on separate systems.
Mhm.
So, let's see. Okay, Spencer.
Are you planning to use Dante either virtual sound card or via to route audio to all the calls?
Okay, so again, talking about the thing we're going to be doing on Monday, and I'm going to be using Dante with virtual sound cards. That way I don't have to run audio cables all over the trailer. Each one of the computers will talk directly to my audio mixer. So.
And that's the software, Dante.
Yep.
I remember you
Well,
talking
Dante is
about it.
the computer networking system that allows you to send audio over Ethernet.
Oh.
So yeah, computers will get the internet and transmit sound over the same cable.
Okay.
So, yep.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Again, that's kind of why I'm going to have you on Switcher, because that other stuff can get technical.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
What was the farthest project with the trailer so far? It's like between, I guess, the trailer and the venue? Or the had to travel.
Distance had to travel, yeah. So there's been two that were kind of far away. So we did one up in Ogden. Gosh, that's been 2 years ago. Wow. That was, yeah, that's probably, but the one we did out in, what was that? Grantsville? Is that where we went that one time? For
that was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that was pretty far away too.
It's probably about 2 hours.
Yeah, an hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah, so 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. So yeah, I don't necessarily like to go that far.
Yeah.
With the trailer, but for the right event, I'll consider it. So.
It's definitely better than having no trailer, though.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because that takes 10 times longer to set up.
Yeah, and 10 times longer to do the troubleshooting too. It's like everything's pre-wired, you know. Any troubleshooting, most of the time, troubleshooting with the trailer is way simplified compared to what it would be otherwise. So.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
How often do clients ask for a recording of live stream, and in what media form do you give it to them?
Okay. So just as a matter of course, I always record everything, just in case.
I usually
do.
Because
I didn't always in the past, but I very quickly found, like, hey, did you happen to get a recording of that? No, sorry. And so ever since then, it's like, yes, I'm always going to make a recording.
Yeah. Well, and then if something happens to you, you have a backup.
Exactly. You know, if worst case scenario, you could replay the recording later, right? So yeah, it's I always do not just one, but I always do at least 2 recordings of everything.
Yeah.
Whenever I remember. Like our last live stream we did here, I forgot to hit the record button. So
you're not supposed to tell them that.
Well, these people understand, you know, like the mistakes happen. So.
Yeah, the event I'm doing tomorrow, we do dance competitions and we record everything, even though we don't edit anything and it goes straight to the computer. But just in case something happens with the computer or something, someone forgets to hit the record button, then
it has happened.
then we have it on camera to give to them later, and it's happened a couple times. So
yeah. So it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So skip. Okay.
Have you ever used PTZ cameras, and what's your opinion about PTZ?
Okay, so that's pan tilt zoom. And
Zoom.
Yep, I have 2 of them, both Sony SRG 300 SEs. We got them out one day.
Have I used those?
You've probably been on. Actually, when we did the film festival last year, I had one set up in the room when you were running camera in the back, and then.
Oh yeah.
And she's actually helping me to build a promotional video for the trailer, and we shot some stuff with it a while back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that stuff's. I mean, we don't typically use that a lot.
I like to when there's time, because it's nice to have a couple extra shots, you know, like what I like to do for a typical shoot when I can, 3 cameras with operators, 1 fixed wide, and then my 2 PTZ. So that gives me a total of 6 shots that I can cut to at any given time. One thing I like about those 2 particular PTZs, they have an amazing zoom. They really zoom in. I mean, I think
Didn't we like play with it and we
Yeah.
like tried to do that?
Yeah, we saw
with the
somebody up. We
mountains?
saw somebody up on the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a 30
It
times
is like a telescope.
30 times optical, and then it has digital zoom on top of it. So it's
Mm.
ridiculous. And then that particular model has way finer controls for the motion than the other ones that I've used. So it goes down to 0.1 degrees per second, where most of the other cameras that I've seen out there are like 1.3 at the slowest. Which, when you're zoomed in, 1.3 degrees per second is fast. You know, you're sweeping across the scene very quickly. Whereas the 0.1, I can actually do a motion shot from a distance and have it still be okay.
Where it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cameras don't have great low light sensitivity, so I tend to use them only in well lit areas.
Mm.
But it's nice to have that as an option. So, okay.
Doug, have you ever needed to use the BMD clean switch, or have you instead scripted video hub outputs to your Teradeks to have consistent resolutions?
Okay, so I think there may be a little bit misunderstanding of what the clean switch actually does. So what he's talking about is the video router. So I've got a couple of them here in the trailer where you connect all your video sources and inputs, and then you connect all the places they need to go to the outputs, and then you're able to send this input to this output, this input to this other output. You can reroute signals as any way you want, basically. So that's why I'm able to repurpose a lot of the monitors here in the trailer. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, so like when you're here editing, I send the video from the computer that you're working up here. But when I'm shooting, I send my multi-views up here. So, they have a version of that that's called the clean switch, which synchronizes all the different sources so that the top of each frame on every output is starting at the same time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
there's no delay.
Right, yeah, so as you're switching between those sources, if you run those into a video switcher, you're not adding any additional delay with the switcher itself. So so that's really the only thing that the clean switch is actually doing to the signal, is just aligning the beginning of each frame. It doesn't do any sort of frame rate or resolution conversion. So it's not going to convert your 720p to 1080p or anything like that. It's not going to convert 5994 to 2997 or anything like that. It's only just synchronizing the start of the top of the frame. So yeah, I haven't found much use for them because my switcher actually does that frame synchronization built right in. All the Blackmagic switchers do that. So with older school switchers, you had to have all your signals from all your cameras arriving with the top of every frame happening at the same time. They didn't have a way to resynchronize that. So anyway, yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Why is I know we're running out of time. SMPTE.
It's supposed to be fiber.
SMPTE. So expensive and normal fiber isn't.
Well, SMPTE fiber, it's big. It's heavy. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. So not only does it carry your video signals, it also carries power. It's also carrying more than just the two signals that we would use with normal fiber. So a lot of SMPTE fiber, you can send 3 or 4 video signals back to the camera operator so they can choose which one they want to watch. Or you can do things like have a teleprompter on the camera in addition to them being able to see the program feed. So there's just a lot of stuff going on there, and they're built to be super, super rugged. They're really tough.
Okay.
So, but you're paying about $15 a foot for that stuff.
That's it.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Do you have those? Do you have that kind of cable?
No.
It's just too much.
Yeah, it's too much. And then the boxes you have to hook up on the two ends in order to run that fiber are pretty expensive too. So way more expensive than the stuff I'm using. And I like the cheap stuff because I'm able to run 24 strands of fiber in one small. My cable's only a 1/4 inch in diameter. But I can run 15 cameras off of that one cable. SMPTE, you can't do that.
Oh,
so.
okay.
All right. Let's see, caught up a little bit. Okay, here's a good one.
Teradek Video Go working fine.
So we're using it right now.
Do you have the Go? Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay. I keep getting confused with the Go and the Pro. I'm never going to get it down.
I have both.
I know, and that's what else is confusing.
But ever since I got the Go, I've been using it for pretty much everything, and it's so far so good. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever, and video quality has improved noticeably on the live streams since I switched over. So, yeah, pretty happy with it so far. So.
Mark, I'm not telling you about these live streams anymore.
Yeah, we'll skip some of those. So
is it difficult though?
All right, so I'll read this one because it's for you. So,
oh.
For Wit, as you've been learning more about all the facets of live streaming, which have you liked the most?
Oh, which aspects?
Yeah. I got a light going right where the text is. I can't read it very well.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite. I like learning about the graphics and doing that live stream, and then just the software in general. But I mean, as a camera operator, I've heard a lot of technical directors, and then I've seen it a lot. So it's learning the intricate details is what I struggle with.
Yeah.
So.
You feel like you're getting it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily like live streaming. Am I allowed to say that? But it's, I don't know. It's not as complicated as I thought it would be. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong that scare me.
That's the nature
like
of everything
the stuff
live.
that happened with you with the
live.
drones.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't, necessarily like that aspect.
Yeah.
There's already pressure enough in the film industry. I don't want it to be live so people can see my mistakes. That's why I edit.
So.
Except we're doing live right now, so.
Yep. Yeah, and the worst part about this live is it's us on camera and not
I know, right? And then
stuff,
now we're on it too, so.
So.
Don't ask me why.
Yep. Okay, so another one here.
So you're using the Sony SRG 300SE PTZ camera. Is that the PoE? If not, what do you use with power normally for that?
So PoE is power over Ethernet, which is where I actually send power for the device over the same Ethernet cable that it's using for data. So
you can do that?
You can, a lot of devices now support that, yes. However, that camera does not. So what I have is I have a little adapter that converts it to use PoE. So yes, I'm effectively powering those cameras over the Ethernet, but it has to go through a little box to separate the power from the data first.
Okay.
So, yeah, it works really well. But yeah. Okay, what's this one?
Have you ever tried to filter out the aircon hum with EQ or similar?
No, because it's similar to white noise, which basically means you can't really do much about that, unfortunately. So, alrighty, let's see, how far behind are we? Hey, we're actually almost caught up. Okay.
Which compressor do you recommend now, since the Behringer one you should have showed in the past is no longer made?
You're probably referring to the Shark, I think. Or maybe, you're talking about the 6-band compressor or the little tiny one. So,
well, the one you showed, that one's no longer made, right?
Yeah. Well, I think the Shark is technically still made. The FX unit that I showed in our Stream Team video, I think is still made. He might be referring to the 6-band compressor that I have in the audio booth here. It's been discontinued for years. I've had that for more than 20 years at this point. It's getting pretty old.
Okay.
You can still pick them up. You can still get them. They're not terribly expensive because they are so old. But Behringer doesn't make anything like that anymore. So if you're looking for a product that's like that, the next best thing that I'm aware of is the TC Electronic Finalizer. And they're pricey, though. They're definitely pricey. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, so you clarified the smaller one. So probably talking about the Shark. I think the Shark is still available. It's still listed on Behringer's website. So.
Oh.
Alrighty. Okay.
What PoE adapter do you use?
It's one from TP-Link. It's something I got on Amazon. They're cheap. It's like $15. Works just fine.
TP-Links.
I did have to make a custom cable for it because those cameras have a weird power plug in them. But go watch the video about that camera on my channel. I actually tell you what connector to get for power on that one. So, all right. Okay. Next one.
How would you recommend to get XLR audio or TRS out of an SDI feed? I need to send some external speakers for an audience. Thanks.
Okay. Well, I use the Behringer adapter. So the little mini converters that they sell. They have one that's specifically SDI to audio, but all their SDI to HDMI ones have the output too. So if you need to run to like a television and you need audio, you can just do the one adapter. And they have TRS outputs, but simple adapter cable will get you the XLR. So yeah.
You don't use TRS, right?
I don't have a problem
usually
with it.
XLR.
I don't have a problem with TRS. It's a balanced signal, just like XLR is. So it's really just a different connector than XLR.
Oh.
XLR is more rugged, but TRS works fine too. So, okay, next one.
I'm using a Sony PXWZ280. Can I do RTMP live stream through this camera?
I'm actually not sure on that.
I don't know what camera that is because we use the It's the 150.
Yeah, there you go. She got it.
I can never remember the camera names.
Every time somebody sees a picture of her with that camera,
We're like, what kind of camera is that? I'm like,
she has to text me.
It's either the 150 or the.
It's the 150.
What's the other one?
This X70. Yeah, the little
X70.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the 280 is.
Yeah, so that one's 2 models up in Sony's lineup.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little fancier than the Z150. I don't know if that one. I don't think it does do RTMP streaming, but I don't know that for sure. So if it did, it would be on Sony's website. So look it up there. All right. Okay. Let's see. What's this one?
Go digital. I did, and I never looked back. Behringer XR12 is really cheap, small and packed with a lot of functionality, more than a whole rack of analog equipment.
Okay, so discussion of analog versus digital mixers.
Oh.
Digital offer a lot more functionality, that's for sure, without question. You get a lot more features. One thing I don't like about digital is like you don't have knobs to do everything. So like if you need to very quickly turn down the EQ on something like that, you've got to wade through menus to get there. So in some ways,
which is kind of important in life.
Yeah, it really is. So
you need to do something quick.
It's nice to have a mixer that's sort of a hybrid, and a lot of the higher end digital mixers, they do have dedicated knobs for a lot of that stuff. But like the one he's talking about, the XR12, it doesn't have any controls at all. Everything's done through an iPad. So there's no buttons or dials or anything on the unit itself. It looks just like a stage box. I have the XR16 that I use for intercom here.
But it's cheaper.
Oh yeah, way cheaper. Yeah.
Way cheaper.
Yeah, way cheaper. So digital mixers do tend to sound better than a lot of the analog, at least the cheaper analog ones. So, yeah.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So we are caught up. Let's do this last one.
Behringer Blackmagic adapter boxes.
Okay. I think you're probably referring to the audio. Those are from Blackmagic Design. So should I just grab one? I've got them.
Yeah, you should.
Grab my bin of converters here. So there are, I don't know, how many is that? Like a dozen? More than a dozen.
Oh, yeah.
Converters. So
I didn't know you had that many.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say, is it that black or gray converter?
Yep.
That's what I was picturing.
SDI to audio. So SDI in, and then 4 audio outputs. Yeah, although we probably only ever use 2. So yeah, but that said, you get like the SDI to HDMI, SDI in, HDMI out, but it also has audio outputs as well. So if you just need audio, you can get away with one of these as well. And these are more useful.
Yeah.
We all have TVs we have to hook into occasionally, or whatever. So.
Are those expensive? The converters?
195-ish, somewhere in there. So I haven't bought any in a long time.
That's not bad.
So yeah, I bought all that I needed a long time ago.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
So,
you're gonna be fine.
Okay. Oh, looks like we got a few questions. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we'll go with this one. It's actually a question.
Is there any big different Teradek video node modems and the normal 4G doggles?
Okay, so I'm talking about the little cellular modems you can stick into the side of the Teradek units for streaming. Not much difference between the ones that Teradek actually sells. They're called nodes, and like the little cheap ones that I showed in the video I did a little while ago. So I've got the little white ones that I stick in there.
Oh, okay.
Those were $60 a piece. The nodes are $500 a piece, and they do effectively the same thing. So, yeah.
So you got the $500 one?
No. I save money
Just
wherever I possibly can. And I know.
Yeah, I know. Anything under $100 is just the cheapest. Like, I'm like, oh, that's nothing.
Yeah.
But then you multiply it, and then after a while, it's
when you build a trailer, and
all of a sudden.
the biggest expense I was surprised by when I built the trailer was all of the SDI to HDMI converters I had to buy for all these monitors. So I needed, I needed 15 of them. You buy 15 of those things. And at the time, they were $295, not the $185 that they are now. So it's like all of a sudden you have this major expense just for the freaking converters, you know. So, yeah, I mean, when I built the trailer, I had all this money set aside, and it very quickly disappeared on little stuff like that, and like all the cabling, like every HDMI cable, $15, you know, and just like it just really adds up.
Yeah.
Really fast.
That's why I don't own anything.
It all goes.
So I'll just keep buying, keep buying until I'm broke.
Yeah. No, you can.
And then there'll be something new in a couple months.
That's the thing about this business. You know, like even after you have everything you need, you still got to keep buying new gear.
Yeah, because technology, every 6 months, there's gonna be something new.
Yeah. And like my Z150 cameras, I love them, but they're 4 years old now. You know, I don't know how many more years I'm really going to be able to get away with those. You know, and they are starting to show some signs of wear at this point. So each one of them has some, I wouldn't necessarily say quirks, but like one of them, the microphone input on the top doesn't work anymore, and then I've got another one that won't take an AC power adapter. It has to run off battery. It's like, so yeah. Okay, refresh. Okay, question from John.
Can you recommend a good bonding modem?
Okay,
What is a bonding modem?
Okay, so bonding is the process of combining the internet speed for multiple devices into, well, so if you need to get a bunch of data out to the internet and any one connection isn't fast enough to do it, you can split it over multiple connections. So bonding is the process of combining those.
Okay.
Well, with bonding, it's not necessarily something that is done by the modem. It has to be done by the service that you're happen to be using. So like with Teradek stuff, I use their ShareLink bonding service. So the Teradek unit sends some of the data out Ethernet, some of it out Wi-Fi, and some of it out to cellular connections. And then it goes up to a Teradek service, which then recombines it. So you kind of have to. Yeah. So, but you have to do it that way, because like YouTube wouldn't know what to do with data coming from multiple sources. Or
oh, yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
So which one would you recommend?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you're streaming. So in my case, the only thing I need bonding for is live streaming, and I just use the Teradek ShareLink service with my Video Go and my Video Pro. So, all right. Let's see, is that one a question? Can't read it. Is that a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has the only job you have work an existing installed analog system, the one for that church conference?
No. There's been a number of them. So I did a women's meeting a little over a year ago, and it was, you probably never even heard of this, but like we had the Olympics here back in 2002. And they built a special venue up in Salt Lake City for some of the meetings associated with that and some of the public events. And I shot a women's meeting there a year ago. Everything there old school analog. So like, even the projectors were VGA. So it doesn't happen often. And that computer just rebooted, so. So,
damn it.
Yeah, I guess that's going to be the end of our questions. I'm definitely not going to get that streamed up really quickly. So,
it's been an hour.
Yeah, it's a good time to start wrapping up. So, yeah. We know one of the popular questions we've had here on the channel in the past was, can you guys do a behind the scenes? Well, we did one. I know. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I wasn't
yeah,
here.
we wasn't here for it, but we
course.
we did one.
Why would I
yeah,
be here for
witnessed
that?
2 of the best events.
I know, I missed them. Like I
well, she was gone.
couldn't help
so.
it. I had a wedding to go to,
Yeah.
so.
So we
Oh,
actually
well.
did a behind the scenes for the event we did last Saturday called Follow the Flag, and that video is up on the channel. It's already got 3,000 views and it's only been up since Saturday, so it's been really, really popular. So if you were looking to see an actual setup for an actual event, go watch that video. Again, just posted on Saturday, July 4th. So there's that, and we've got 11 other videos in the Stream Team series.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so even though this is episode 11, we split episode 5 up into 2 separate ones, so the numbering is a little bit weird. But so we've done two other live streams taking questions, but the other videos there are kind of basic introductory
Live
topics
stream
for live stream
setup,
stuff. So
yeah.
setting up cameras, setting up switcher, talking about what all that stuff is, and we'll be diving into more detail moving forward. So I think we'll be able to do another episode for Tuesday. Or is that going to be pushing it a little?
I don't know.
She's got a pretty intense schedule here for the next little while.
Yeah, I've been gone so long that I'm working an event 2 days in a row, tomorrow, out of town, and then the thing on
We got
Monday.
the thing on Monday, which is going to occupy our time. So we may not have one Tuesday. We'll try. Can't make any
Okay.
promises. But so break
I don't
our
want to
sch-
make any promises.
Yeah, break our
like
schedule.
Other things to
But,
worry about.
You know,
but
that's what happens, you know.
yeah.
So.
What would the topic be? Do we have one? No.
Playing it
Just
as we go. Playing it by going by the seat of our pants. Yeah, that's the terminology there.
Yep.
My brain's going.
I think we could only handle an hour of
Yeah.
an hour of this, and then we're like, okay.
Yeah, it's the heat. I'm gonna blame the heat. So even though we're running the air
The
conditioner,
AC's on.
it's still getting warmer in here.
It's 80 degrees. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, so join us for other videos here on the channel. Share this video with coworkers, with employees, with friends, anybody who's interested in live production or live streaming. And what are we missing? So subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe,
Like the video.
share,
Yeah. Yeah.
make fun of us.
Yeah. Oh, I should also mention I have not been doing a good job of mentioning this, but down in the description for this video and like pretty much all the other videos on the channel, there's a link for an email mailing list, so you can sign up and get notifications whenever we post videos. So yeah, so go do that. And it's not just Stream Team, but all the other videos are here on the DJV channel. So, and I should also mention Patreon. We're gonna have to set up a Patreon specifically for Stream Team, but Patreon's a good way to get early access to the videos. So any videos, any of the regular DJP videos that go up there, we make those available at least a day early for Patreon supporters, and they get to watch them without advertising. So, yeah, if it's something you're interested in, go sign up.
And
for
you can
Patreon.
ask questions on Patreon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
So might be able to get more
So-
questions answered.
with me having a little more bandwidth, because she's doing all the editing on all the stuff now, we might actually be able to do some Patreon only videos too.
Oh,
So
that's a
yeah,
good idea.
I just didn't have time in the past, but yeah, we can certainly look at doing that moving forward, and we will do a separate one for Stream Team. So right now it would be too hard to determine which is for DJP and which is for.
And we're supposed to. Someone said they're gonna do a jingle for us.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I do. What? Right?
Yep.
So.
We'll talk in detail.
Okay.
after we end the live stream here. So.
And then we have shirts, possibly
We got merchandise coming.
merch.
Yep. Shirts and mugs and phone cases.
I was supposed to
and-
design some, but I didn't
Yeah, I
on
didn't either.
vacation. Sorry.
So yeah, we'll be doing merchandise. So we can keep doing this. So
Yeah.
because it's kind of her job right now.
It's kind of pretty much my life.
So yeah, anything we can do to help out is very much appreciated. So yeah. Anyway, with that, we can't see any more questions. So
Yeah, our computers
Yeah.
hate us. It's because we're using HDMI, isn't it?
and maybe
Stupid
It's
HDMI.
funny, like-
I hate that.
I built the computer using Intel parts because they're supposed to be more stable than AMD. It's been my least stable computer by far. So I'm ready to start over, do a new one. So Anyway.
Well,
okay.
till next time.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.